Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Discover Financial Services, or ticker symbol DFS. And so on the day today, January 18th, they closed at $97 on earnings day, having dropped nearly 11% on the day. As you can see, kind of this big drop off here. And so what I see in the chart, I've done this Fibonacci retracement, which I've done on all the tickers that I'll be going over in this, basically covering the major cards, the major credit cards. And so this retracement goes back to the end of October, going up to recent highs. And so for Discover, this represents about a 40% move to the upside following this downtrending consolidation, and then the drop off gap down following earnings. And so what I see with this is that price is currently just above the 50% retracement, right around $96. But below it, I find the 618 level with this big volume shelf below it to be a little bit more compelling for price to be going to, or at least finding support there, potential support there at around $92. However, it is quite possible that price could continue lower, going to the 786 at a price right around $86. But I do think that it will be interesting to see what happens around $92 if it is able to consolidate and potentially turn around and reverse around there, given all the support from this consolidation that we had previously seen. And I also, with this ticker, I do want to point out before I move to the other ones that the RSI was previously in overbought territory into the 80s, well above 70. And as of today, January 18th, the RSI is now below 30, suggesting that it is oversold. But, just like it resided in overbought territory, it could reside in oversold territory for a little while. So I do expect further downside with this one. All right, and so the next ticker on the list is Visa, ticker symbol V. And so they have earnings on January 25th, so I believe that's next Thursday. And so from the lows at the end of October up to the high that was hit today, being closing on the day of $268.14. That represents about a 20% move approximately to the upside. And I do want to note that RSI has been above 70. However, it was not maintained above 70 like it was with Discover. And so what I see with this before earnings is I do think that there could be a drop-off just like Discover, and I see that the 236 retracement, there is a nice little volume shelf here at a price of around $259. So I could see price dropping off to that level on earnings day, potentially going lower. I don't really see too much support or consolidation at the 382 level, which would be a price of $253 approximately, but getting down to the 50% retracement at around 248, and especially the 618 retracement at a price of $243. There's this nice volume shelf below it, so I could see price dropping off around earnings, just like we saw with Discover, coming down to the 50% retracement and then continuing down to the 618 following earnings. So that is something to keep an eye on. The next one on the list that has earnings the day after Visa is American Express, ticker symbol AXP. They have earnings on January 26th, so that is next Friday. And so what we see in the chart, again, retracement from the lows at the end of October up to the recent highs. That represents for this one about a 35% move to the upside, I believe. And following that high that was hit on January 5th, there was a retracement to the 236 level at a price of around $178. Price is currently slightly above that. But I could see further downside, just like the other two, following earnings, going to either the 382 around $171 or where this nice big volume shelf is around the 50% retracement, which would be a price of right around $165. Again, this could go to the lower levels like the 618 at $159, or, really worst case scenario, the 786, which would be around a price of $151. And with this ticker, I do want to note that the RSI was over 80 multiple times on the way up, and following this retracement has dipped down to around 48, so being kind of in the neutral territory, but definitely not in the 30 zone, so there is more room to go down. And then finally, going over Mastercard, ticker symbol MA, which has earnings at the end of the month on January 31st. So this is the latest of these tickers to have earnings. And we can see from this retracement that began at the end of October, going up to recent highs, that, like Visa, also represents about a 20% move to the upside. And we have not seen a retracement of any shape or form. Does look like there might be a double top forming, unless we can get some volume to move it higher. But I could see it retracing down to the 236, which would be around a price of $415. See this little volume shelf here, but really I see the volume based on this consolidation over here picking up around the 50% retracement, which would be around a price of $396, or more precisely $395.50. Below that, I don't see too much support, not much consolidation, but I do see this little volume shelf at the 786 retracement, which would be price going all the way down to right around $375. So that is something to consider. And I do want to note that the RSI has not really spent much time above 70, currently at 65.53. So it could definitely continue higher before earnings at the end of the month, but just like the DFS ticker Discover, I could see a big drop off like this, with not only Visa, the first one to have earnings next, also American Express, which does look pretty similar to DFS with its downward moves, and then Mastercard. I could also see that as well. So something to keep in mind as these companies prepare for earnings. Hopefully they do not end up like DFS, but it's quite possible they will. But those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.